Salute, salute, Knicks family. Yo, Black is time. We back with the Losers Lounge, Washington Wizards edition. I got Sim in the building as always. Sim, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. And for us to clinch, I live here in DC, for us to clinch over the Wizards and to eliminate the Wizards is even better for me. I know it's not a big rivalry for a lot of Knicks fans, but because I live here, it's a big rivalry for me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel good. I feel real good about it. I mean, big win, big win, big win, big moment for the Knicks, man.
Yeah, yeah. Um, clinch early. Another win, another game. We could clinch the fifth seed, and we could start preparing for the matchup. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for real. For real. So I guess we can get to that first one, which is you know, kind of funny for me, officially eliminated from the playoffs.
Yay! So
But
let me just give the backstory real quick. That was a meme, and,
mhm,
and by the end of the meme, he is definitely really smiling. So I don't think it was a sarcastic yay. I actually think that fan was happy that they are eliminated and they are going to get whatever pick they're going to get.
but the funny thing is they're not even eliminated. They're eliminated from the play-in. They wasn't even close to the playoffs. They're eliminated from the play-in, not even close to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Not even close to the playoffs. So, they shouldn't even mention the playoffs at all.
Yeah, it would have been an uphill battle.
Right. You know what I mean? They shouldn't even mention the playoffs at all. I hope we get some Wizards fans in here too. You know what I mean? Here you go. Here's one.
Daryl, imagine how good this team could be without Beal. Interesting.
Yeah, real interesting because you know what I mean. Like as a Knicks fan, we're probably hearing that right now from a lot of Knicks fans. Right? Imagine how good this team could be without Julius Randle. You know what I mean? Because I mean, listen, I mean, the last two games, the Knicks have played faster. They've scored some points. But I'm gonna tell you right now, the Knicks need Julius Randle come playoffs. That's that. I don't think no one should be mistaken that, in my opinion. But I'm sure there's a lot of Knicks fans that feel that way right now
Yeah,
about Julius Randle.
we're gonna talk about that on Knicks and Bruises tomorrow. Actually, um, I got a axe to grind with a couple of Knicks fans, so we're gonna talk about that exact sentiment
Yeah.
tomorrow. Um, but about Bill, now had he said moving Bill and what they could potentially get for him and things of that nature, like maybe it's time to rebuild and move on, I would understand that sentiment from a Wizards fan
Mhm.
and their perspective. But just to say how good this team could be without Beal, I think it's inferring that Beal is somehow holding the team back. And when I say holding the team back, I mean the current players on the team. Not even you know what I mean? They haven't talked about what they can get to build around such and such. You know what I mean? So maybe he's thinking Beal is holding somebody back.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible. You know what I mean? Brian Robinson said they're hating on a dude who he ain't even play on a loss. I don't get it. I mean, I feel you. I mean, but that's we do that sometimes as Knicks fans. You know what I mean? We be hating on somebody who wasn't even in the building. Happens a lot. You
Oh, it happened a lot 2 years ago. I'll
know,
tell you that.
2 years ago, 2 years ago, right? The thing I say about that with the Wizards, I think they probably feel like they've run their course with Beal, right? I mean, at least with when you talk about the Portland Trailblazers with Dame, at least they've been competitive and been in the playoffs and had a couple of, one or two seasons where they were at the top of the Western Conference. I mean, the Wizards haven't been anywhere near that. You know what I mean? And now I think they signed an extension with Beal, and they probably feel like, where are we going? Although Beal, he's been there for a while, but he's still fairly young. You know what I mean? He's not in his 30s. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I dig what they're saying, but you know,
Yeah, I was actually
uh,
gonna bring up. I was gonna bring up Dame and
he's 29
because
actually.
we've heard a lot about we've seen that same sentiment in Portland as well though with Dame. Um, and I think that's a great parallel. Like you said, Dame has been a little bit more successful throughout his journey with that team. But yeah, I mean, again, the fact that he's not elaborating or and saying, "All right, let's time to rebuild. It's run its course." You know what I mean? It's confusing to me.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
fact that he singles out Beal, which makes me say, "All right, he likes KP. He likes Kuz and the potential of re-signing him."
right.
You know what I mean?
I think it has to do with the amount of time he's been there, and I was wrong. He is 29. I mean, he's not old, but you know what I mean. He's he's not. I thought he was 27, 28. He's 29 years old, closer to 30. But also, they just signed a 5-year contract with him, right? $43 million this year, 46 million next year, 50 million in 24, 25, 53 in 25, 26. Then I think there's a player option in 26, 27 for $57 million. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they're kind of stuck with Bradley Beal for a little while because for the simple fact that they haven't won anything. Yeah, it's not going to be that many people that want him for that contract. I don't think that many
Well,
teams.
let me ask you this: um, would you rather us potentially moving towards Zach Levine or Bradley Beal if the cost was the same?
If the cost was the same,
Because I feel like at the very least Beal is more proven.
hmm, let's go on that. If the cost was the same, I think me personally, I would go with Zach Levine. I think you know what I mean. One because he's been with Tom Thibodeau before, right? So that kind of makes some sense. Um, I like the height better than Bradley Beal. You know what I mean? So I would like to add. I would prefer
Mm.
not to have a small backcourt. I'm not saying it can't work, but I would prefer not to have a small backcourt.
Including the height, do you think Levine's a better defender than Beal?
I don't know. I think no. I think Beal can play defense. I think Beal can be a good defender. Uh, you know, I al- Beal also has a lot of injury history too, though.
Yeah, I mean
You
they
know,
both do. They both do.
yeah,
Interesting, interesting. We'll keep an eye on it.
yeah. I mean, I know a couple of years ago, I was all for Knicks getting Bradley Beal because I love the way Bradley Beal plays. I like his
Mhm.
game. You know what I'm saying? I think he takes a lot of shots on the Wizards because they don't
He
really
has
have
to.
any, in the past they haven't had anybody. You know what I mean? And there was a point where I thought I was like, yo, he's got a really good contract. You know what I'm saying? He could work with the Knicks. But now, now that he's got that contract, I'm clearly second guessing, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But when you look at Bradley Beal, this year he's played 50 games. Last year he played 40. The year before that he played 60. The year before that he played 57.
Mm.
Up until that point, I mean, still his rookie year, 56 games. His third season, 63 games. His fourth season, 55 games. I mean, him and John Wall, man. I mean, John Wall can't find a way to stay on the court. I mean,
Oh, I was a shout out. The Public Enemy says Beal is a me first player pass. I don't know if he's me first. I think he
How
was he was money first, but I don't know if he was me first.
Yeah, and again, I think I'd like to go back to just who's on his who did he have on his team?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I think a lot of that is I think you got to look at that a lot. Now, I think his fans want to build around the Wizards fans want to build around Kispert, right? Build around Kispert. Kispert did have what he had. Did he have 30, 29, 28, or 29 points tonight? He was killing.
That was a career high, right?
Might have been. Might have
And
been.
another garden moment, right?
Yeah, yeah, another garden moment, right? But he was killing. You know what I mean? So and he's the young guy, he's the new guy. So obviously, there's gonna be a lot of people that want to build around Kispert. He's and this guy isn't the only one that wants to build around Kispert.
Mm.
You know what I mean? There you go.
Kispert is 100% proven why he needs to be starting at the three next year. If we keep Kuz, he plays the four. So here's another guy saying maybe he doesn't want Kuz,
Yeah, he said if they keep Kuz, he plays the four, and if he
or is
plays
he
the
saying
four,
Kuz plays the four?
yeah, he's saying Kuz plays the four. I think.
Okay, okay.
Right. I think he's saying Kuz plays the four, which means KP,
Mm.
you know what I mean, doesn't play at all.
Or is that the five?
Or is at the five, but I guess I don't know how strong your defense is gonna be with KP at the five, you know what I mean? Because he can barely move, and he's gonna be injured half the year too.
Yeah.
And I think Daniel Gafford is probably a good five for them, really. I know some of their fans might not think so, right? I know some of their fans might not think so, but he's a strong five. I don't know how old he is and how long he's been in the league and all that kind of stuff. But he's a strong five, a guy that can give you some work. I guess it's always hard when your team is it's like with the Knicks, when your team is not good, it's hard to see talent. You know what I mean? And recognize any talent that you might have. You feel like everybody's trash. And, except for maybe a couple guys, and you ready to just move on. You know what I'm saying? Move on and start something new. We get it. We've been there, Wizards fans. I'm saying we've been there, Wizards fans. We understand what all of that is about because we've definitely been there. Speaking of Daniel Gafford,
Philip, top three worst starting centers. Powell, I think he's on the Mavs at number one. Number two, Gafford, and number three, Eubanks. I don't know where Eubanks is at, but uh, apparently he feels his starting center is second worst in the league.
yeah, that's what they feel. You know what I mean? Again, when you're having a season like they're having, um, you don't feel like you have anything. You know what I'm saying? And they're a team that there was a point early in the season where it felt like people felt like I mean there was a point where um they were looking good, but then they just fell off. I'm saying they just fell off and they weren't playing good anymore. I guess due to all of their injuries, guys. But they made the move for Kristaps Porzingis, knowing that KP can't stay healthy. You got a Bradley Beal who can't stay healthy. That doesn't make sense. Why put those two together if you know they can't stay healthy? Either one of them.
I mean, I think they was just taking a chance. I mean, KP. I think KP's actually been a pleasant surprise for them this year. Um, he's definitely played better there than with the Mavs.
Hmm. I mean,
It might
he's
be some luck still in there. You know what I mean?
yeah. I had to watch the game on the Wizards telecast, and they were doing some kind of special with KP after the game. They were doing some kind of special with him, and they were talking about they showed a little bit of a clip, and he was saying that he believes he's just scratched the surface of his prime, and that could be true. You know what I mean? He's 27 years old, but man, he hasn't played a full game since he hasn't played a full season since he's been in the league. First season, 72 games, not bad. Second season, 66. Third season, 48. He didn't play in 2018, 2019 because of his ACL. 1920, 57. 2021, 43. 21, 22. He played 51 games. And then this season, he's played 65. I mean, he's got nice numbers this year.
Is
23
is
points a game.
is this the contract year, or is it next year?
Not sure. Have to check it out. But nice numbers, 23 points a game, 8 rebounds, 2.7 assists, shooting 49.8% from the field, and 38.5% from the three-point line. Nice numbers. You know what I mean? But so far, at least with the Wizards, it hasn't impacted winning. You know what I mean? Um, and what's crazy is I hear people say with Knicks fans, oh, bring Porzingis back. I ain't messing with it. I ain't even messing with it, man, because he can't stay healthy. And I don't think he's going to stay healthy for his career. I think he's always going to be in and out, in and out, in and out. I mean, so I don't want to bother with him. Would you? Would you welcome him back? I mean, if he came back, I would support him because he's with the Knicks, but
I wouldn't trade for him,
right.
but I wouldn't mind sitting down in free agency and seeing if something could work that way. Where you know what I mean? But I think it depends on, like, I'm not trying to give him the same contract. He's getting off. You know what I mean? Let alone a raise. So I think probably not. It's like slim chance. But like you, if he was here, I'd support him.
Right. He has a player option for next season, which I'm pretty positive he's going to pick up. It's $36 million. I think he'll probably pick up that player option.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And play for the Wizards because there's a lot of teams that would take him, but I think a lot of them are going to question his injury history. You know what I mean? Now, the only way that I could see, first of all, the Wizards might try to negotiate a contract extension with him.
Or opt out, and then a 3 year. You know what I mean? If it's 3 year 100, they, you know what I mean, or something. Maybe 3 years 90. They saving 6 million this year, and then he's getting stability for 3 years at 30 million each. You know what I mean? It could be something like the Chris Paul thing. But
Right.
again, um he has to acknowledge his own injury history and things that hamper, you know what I mean, why he can't get the big
Yeah.
payday.
Right. Right. He has to. And if he was a free agent and the Knicks look to sign him, I'm almost gonna say he'd have to come off the bench because I'm not gonna start him. Obviously, you're not gonna start him over Randle, and I'm not gonna start him over Mitch because of Mitch's defense. You know what I mean? He'd have to come off the bench, I think. If he were a Knick. And I don't think if he thinks he's just touching the prime of his career, hasn't even scratched the surface, he ain't trying to come off the bench no place. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to either. He ain't trying to come off the bench. He wants to be a starter. You know, he wants to be a starter. There you go.
Shout out to the chat too, man. Thank you guys for joining us.
No doubt.
The new people, thank you for joining us. And then, the faithfuls, the MBK faithfuls, appreciate y'all. Sultan, seriously, got 4 players in double digits, and we only have two. Shaking my head.
Yeah. Knicks have 4 players in double digits, man. Uh, Jalen Brunson, 27 points. I think Emmanuel quickly had 22.
Grimes.
Grimes had 27 points, and Obi Toppin had 21 points.
Last time that was done was, they said, 2018.
That
And I didn't catch the 4 players in 2018. Did you catch it? I
nah,
know I think they said Dotson was one of them. I was like, oh wow.
okay. Damian Dotson.
So it might have been like Dotson, Moutier.
I mean, they ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in double digits though. Right.
Nice.
Corey Kispert had 29. Johnny Davis had 16. Taj Gibson had 14. Taj was knocking down threes. 4 for 5 from the 3-point line, Taj Gibson against the Knicks tonight. 4 for 9 from the 3-point line. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the first one, he looked right over at the bench. You know what I'm saying? And I was listening to the Wizards telecast, and they were talking about Taj Gibson and, knocking down threes. And of course, they were talking about him being a professional and the leadership that he brings to the leagues and stuff like that. But 4 threes versus the Knicks tonight at the Garden. And again, they kept on talking about the Garden. You know what I mean? They were like, yeah, the Garden, this is definitely one of the sweetest places to shoot the ball and stuff like that. And it made me start thinking like, maybe a lot of people feel like the Garden is a nice place to shoot the ball. And that's why teams come in and shoot it up. Because they feel comfortable and feel good shooting at the Garden.
And I think a huge part of that, and shout out to Gilbert Arenas. I was watching one of his shows one day, and he had Brandon Jennings on there, and I forget who the other guy is, but he was talking about the Garden in the sense of how players actually, get up to play there. Um, it's actually, he actually said it's a road game for the Knicks in the sense that the fans are so knowledgeable or into the game of basketball that if you do a play and you cross somebody, the whole crowd is, oh, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? The whole crowd is like you talked about earlier with the holding the breath with the injury. Like, um, he's like certain players get up for that. They like, oh, the crowd likes that, and now they, you know what I
not,
mean? Now they
yeah,
trying to put on a show, you know what I mean? Because they know they're gonna get a reaction, um, from good play, whether you opposing team or the current team, the actual team.
yeah, yeah, no doubt about it. But yeah, the Knicks had 4 players not only in double digits but scored 20 points tonight. Nice, really, really nice game for the Knicks. And then you had, and you know what's crazy? The other night when the Knicks played the Cavs, only 2 players were not in double digits. Only 2 were not in double digits. I know Deuce McBride was one of them. I forgot who the other guy was. I'm gonna look it up right now. But only 2 were not in double digits. You know what I mean? That's good basketball. That's
That's
good
team.
basketball.
That's team ball.
Yeah, that's how you want to beat teams. You know what I mean? When you can. And the Knicks have proven, man, that they have depth. And it was something we thought the Knicks had depth at the beginning of the season. And then it felt like they didn't have depth when guys were injured. Now it's like, yeah, they got a lot of depth on this basketball team. The other guy was Isaiah Hartenstein. So when the Knicks beat the Cavs the other night, Miles McBride had 2 points and Isaiah Hartenstein had 5 points. Everybody else was in double digits. Brunson 48, RJ Barrett 14, Obi 12, Mitchell Robinson 10, Josh Hart had 11, and Emmanuel Quickly had 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in double digits.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. So, Wizards, you didn't get the worst of it. The Cavs did. The Cavs did. You didn't get the worst of it. You know what I mean? I don't want to talk too much about the Cavs. You know,
Yeah, you could take that one, son.
yeah. This guy, no, that's his name. No, nobody. 1286. Are there ghosts out there? How many passes have been to the air? Um, I mean, that's what happens when you got a bunch of young guys on the floor, though.
And that's what happens when you under pressure defensively.
And when you're under pressure defensively, you know what I'm saying? When you're under pressure defensively. But when you got a lot of young guys out there on the floor, they're gonna make a lot of mistakes. And that's what the Wizards were doing tonight. You know what I mean? They had no choice but to play a bunch of young guys. And then they're playing at the Garden. You know what I mean? So they're gonna throw stuff. They're gonna throw bad passes. They're gonna make mistakes. Um, what are you gonna do? We've seen the Knicks throw enough airball passes too. You know what I mean? The Wizards tonight had 18 turnovers though. 18 turnovers, 11 turnovers for the Knicks tonight, 18 for the Wizards. You know what I did want to ask you, and maybe you didn't see enough of it, but Johnny Davis played tonight.
Mm.
He was someone last year that I was interested in the Knicks drafting. Obviously, he went to the Wizards. Did you get to see him play at all? And what did you think?
I didn't get to see, but by all means fill me in. Let me know what you thought, because I was up and down with him. I thought I would not have been mad had we got him, but it was just I didn't understand why his draft stock was dropping the way it was.
Right. Before I get to that, let me just say, D Public Enemy said the Wizards had no real ball handlers out there. I agree, they didn't, and this is the reason why when I did the game preview, I thought that they was going to start Kendrick Nunn at the point guard spot, right? Because he's a ball handler. You know what I mean? And they didn't have a real point guard on the floor. Instead, they went with Dylan Wright and Johnny Davis, but neither one of those guys are true point guards. You know what I'm saying? Neither one of those guys are true point guards, and it's part of the reason why I think a lot of the Wizards fans don't like Unseld. And we'll get to some stuff about Unseld too, but they don't like Unseld. You know what I mean? But as far as Johnny Davis, I think he's good. I still love his body control. He's got a nice shot. I still think he can be a good guy, a good player in the NBA. You know what I mean? He kind of reminds me now that I'm looking at him. ah, Maybe he's gonna have the kind of career that Wilson Chandler had, or something like that. Wilson Chandler probably was more athletic than him, though. But Wilson Chandler ended up being a jump shooter. He could go to the basket a little bit. He could post up. 3-point shooter. I think Johnny Bryant. Maybe he's not going to be the same player as Wilson Chandler, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Chandler was a good defender.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think Johnny Davis. If I was the Wizards, though, I would look to just blow it up and go young. I'm not gonna lie. I would look to blow it up and just rock with my young guys. You know what I mean? Be the OKC type of team in Orlando type of team for a few years because they
Yeah,
haven't gone anywhere and they're not going anywhere.
and it doesn't reflect. I feel the same way about Dame as well, because
Yep.
it doesn't reflect bad on the player. You know what I mean? Because now the organization did the organization thing and traded him. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't ask for the trade, you wanted to be there. You get to keep that same reputation, or whatever it is you holding on to. It's out of your control, right? So if you get traded at that point, you know what I mean? I don't know. I agree though. I think even if you demand it, like, you tell the team, make it look like it was their decision. You know what I mean? If you worried about backlash or anything else,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got the money already,
Right.
and,
Right.
and you could get a lot for these guys. For contending teams especially, but even guys that teams that just looking for that final piece or that veteran piece. You know what I mean? Like a Memphis. You
Right.
know what I mean? Give them a, maybe you could swap him out for Desmond Bain. I don't know if they would want to do it or not, but you know what I mean? I think Memphis needs veterans.
Yeah. And like their fans were saying, a good opportunity for players who don't usually play to get some burn to step up. You know what I mean? They're at the end of the season. There's nobody, there's nobody. They can't do anything. They're eliminated from the playoffs. So this is their chance to play. But like you said, they can move Porzingis, Bradley Beal. But I think Bradley Beal doesn't want to leave DC though, right? But they could move those guys to veteran teams that think they can use these guys to get over the top, and then just start over. It's probably the best thing for them. Probably the best thing for them because you know they don't have. I mean, they got some guys. Kyle Kuzma's good. Bradley Beal's good, right? KP is good. But for some reason, it don't seem like it works. Ain't mixing and it don't work. Blow it up. Blow it up. Blow it up. But knowing the Wizards, they're probably going to extend KP. Right? Bradley Beal is extended. They're probably going to extend KP and think they're doing something. You know what I mean? Think they're doing something.
I mean, I'm glad that those bruises are over for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. I'm really glad those things are over for us. Really glad.
Brother, at Brother Man, Tibbs made adjustments at the half. Coach got out coached again.
Now, ain't that something? Tibbs made adjustments. And what this dude, what brother doesn't know, brother man doesn't know, is that
Knicks fans.
for Knicks fans, that's the biggest knock on Tom Thibodeau. One of the two biggest knocks, right? I guess one of the two biggest knocks is that I guess there's three, right? Maybe the three biggest knocks against Thibodeau. He doesn't make adjustments. He doesn't rest his players enough, and he doesn't hold everybody accountable. Those are probably the biggest three things that Knicks fans complain about with Tom Thibodeau. But here you got a Wizards fan saying Tom Thibodeau made adjustments and his coach didn't. I mean, I've never had a problem with Thibodeau and his adjustments. I can't speak about Wes Unseld. I hear a lot of Wizards fans talk about him, and they don't think he's that great of a coach. Blase, 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 blah. But I've never had too much of a problem. I know coaches are going to make mistakes. Tom Thibodeau ain't perfect. You know what I mean?
Is he a junior?
Who?
Unsold.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
and his dad was a coach too.
His dad was a coach as well as a player, like a great player for the Bullets.
Okay.
Yep, back in the day.
So he got home ties.
Yeah.
As well.
Right.
Man,
Right.
that's gotta be tough. Right. You know what I mean? That's gotta be tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Just like for Georgetown, I can't think of his name now, but his dad was the coach.
Oh, Thompson.
Thompson. Right? His dad coached Georgetown, was a great. It didn't matter though. People was like, get him out of there. You know what I mean? Get him out of there. But yeah, Wes Unseld is a junior. Dad played for the Bullets. Was one of the great players in NBA history. But you know what I'm saying? They don't think he's a good coach. They said he got out coached again. I don't know what his contract is like. I don't know, but the Wizards haven't been good for a while. You know what I mean? It hasn't been good, and so I could see him being gone soon. Here goes another one. OG Wizards said Wes Unseld is the coach in the NBA. I don't know what he's saying by that, but he can't.
He probably forgot to say worst.
Yeah, probably right. Probably forgot to say worst. Now he can't even properly develop players. Cook's contract is 4 years, and Todd's is a free
free
agent,
agent.
Clay Cooks. I
I'll
get
tell
it.
you this. I was in their chat before the game,
Mhm.
and people were saying that. People were saying that. And people were saying that about the previous game as well. Should have gave them. I think they said more than 4 minutes.
Cooks.
The
Yeah.
previous game.
Mhm.
But I think it's hilarious though because remember when we had Tosh?
Mhm.
Remember when we were saying
Right. Right. Not no doubt. Xavier Cooks got 3 minutes and 31 seconds tonight. Yeah.
and I mean it's back to your point. Like at this point, right? Um, see what you have in these guys.
Right. I guess the only thing I would say, and I don't know what happened with Bradley Beal and KP and all of those guys. The only thing I would say is maybe the coach was like, mathematically, we're still in it. Even though those guys are out, we're going to try to win this game to try to stay in the play in. If we lose, now we go in that direction. Maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe. I don't know. Uh Todd's cooked tonight, though. Todd's cooked tonight. So can't get out coached while clearly tanking. Yeah, that you know, didn't get out coached. The Knicks are just a better team. And I think that makes sense too, right? How do you get out coached if you don't have enough talent on the floor to actually be successful? You know what I mean? I don't know if you can. Coaches are easy scapegoats.
And Sim, that's exactly what I was gonna ask you about the Wizards. Like how long has Unseld been there? Do you know?
Unselled. Yeah, I'll check it out right now. West
Like
Unselled.
he wasn't there since like the Beal um oh man, dude from Kentucky,
Uh,
the number one
John Wall.
John Wall. He wasn't there since from John Wall days, right?
I don't think so.
And how much do you really put on the coach as opposed to the front office you know what I mean? They're the people that traded for Westbrook. You know what I mean? They're the people that um made the KP trade, the Kuz trade. So are you saying that the team are they under? Do they think the team should be playing better and it's the coach's fault, or do they think that they should have a better team? You know what I mean?
Right. So he took over last year, 21-22, was his first year as head coach, and he signed a 4-year contract.
Mm.
So he's got some time, I guess. You know what I mean? At least a little bit of time. I would think that the fans would give him a little grace period to try to build this thing up. You know what I mean? I understand the frustration, though. Trust me, we all understand the frustration. You know what I mean? We all understand that. But so he's been there for 2 years. This is his second year.
Yeah, I mean,
He doesn't have to.
not not
You know,
not that it really matters, right? Because they'll turn on the coach. They'll turn
right,
on the coach
right, right,
in half the season.
right. And players have been in and out of the lineup. It's tough to do your job that way. But yeah, if you don't have the talent, you don't got the people on the floor. How are you going to be successful? Look at last year with Tom Thibodeau. And these guys literally had the same record as the Knicks last year, 35-47. You know, 35-47. But I agree with Ramel. Wiz just need to start the rebuild already. Yeah, 100%. They just got to rebuild. You know what I mean? They have nothing going for them. They got nothing going for them, man. Just rebuild this thing. They don't have anything going for them. I don't know. I think that's it for the clips that we have. I
Uh,
think for Baltimore would be a perfect fit for them.
I would say don't put that energy out there.
Yeah.
And Godfrey, I'm with you.
Yeah, exactly. I want him to be right here, you know what I mean? And of course, well, he's not from he's from above Baltimore. Havre de Grace is where he's from. That's like 50 miles above Baltimore or something. Maybe it's not 50, maybe it's closer, but it's 40 to 45 minutes from Baltimore. You know what I mean? But nah, don't put that out there. You know what I'm saying? Don't put that out there. And who are the Knicks getting in return?
Nah, don't say KP.
Right.
Don't say KP. Nah, we
Not
good.
KP. You know what I'm
We
saying?
good.
Not KP. Who are the Knicks getting in return? Because Quickly's not a free agent. You know what I mean? So it's not like he's a free agent.
And he plays better than his contract.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He plays better than his contract. Um, I did have a couple of things that I wanted to highlight. You know what I mean? Kevin Bergen said a lot of people saying we are preparing to lose to the Cavs in the first round exit. Can't wait to hear the narrative switch up after we advance. Um, I don't know who those people are. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be a battle with the Cavs. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it's going to be a battle. You know, and I in no way whatsoever do I think the Knicks are just going to lay down to the Cavs. I can't see that. You know what I mean? I can't see that. Uh,
My greatest hope is that the at the very least that Brunson and Mitchell offset each other,
uh-huh.
and now it's about the rest of the players. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Because I think if that's the case, we could potentially see the best out of our others.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And again, I'm just until Randall's back, I'm looking at it like he's you know what I mean he's out. So I know that's gonna make it a lot more difficult. But if Brunson can match Mitchell and they offset each other, I think we still got a chance.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with it. Jay Beckton said this style of play won't be conducive once Julius gets back. You can interpret that whichever way you like. Hmm. He's talking about the Knicks style of play, right? Playing more up tempo, with the ball being spread around a little bit more. You know, here's the tough thing. We still don't I don't want to downplay anything, but we haven't seen this team play without Julius Randle and like those tight super battles,
Hmm.
right? I mean, we played them against Cleveland and it ended up being a run and gun type of game. I don't know how much you can tell from that. Randall's played in those run and gun type of games with the Knicks too, where the Knicks have scored a lot of points. We played the Wizards tonight, and the Wizards are tanking. So it wasn't one of those grind out battles. How does this team play when it's a grinded out type of battle? I think that's going to be a question. And when you talk about the Knicks playing without Julius Randle, in my opinion, the Knicks are going to need Randle to be successful in the playoffs. You know, I don't know how much more I can say. The Knicks are going to need Randle, in my opinion, to win. I'm not going to say to win. I think maybe they can. Maybe in the first round, it could be a possibility. Second round, nah, you need
Yep.
Julius Randle.
Yep.
I mean,
I do like how he said interpret it whichever way you
whichever way
like.
you like.
So salute to Jay, man.
Yes. James Glass said this stretch without Julius might be big for Brunson. He's way more aggressive right now, and high turnovers aren't going up. We need Julius for the playoffs, though. Yeah, without a doubt. The Knicks got to have Randall for the playoffs if they expect to be successful. You know, because you're going to get into those games where the defense really tightens up. There's a lot of grabbing. There's a lot of holding. I forgot who it was explaining to somebody, was explain who I don't remember who it was, but they were explaining to somebody else who hadn't been in the playoffs that, oh, it was Donovan Mitchell was explaining to, I was listening to his press conference, and he was explaining to the media that when you get in the playoffs, that playoff type of defense is different, grabbing, holding, and the refs are letting it go. You know what I'm saying? And so when you
But he was also referring to that game.
to that game, when you get into those type of situations, you're gonna need a guy like Julius Randle that's big and strong to battle through that type of uh, you know, to battle through that type of play, in order to be successful, I think. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be, it's interesting to see how it's gonna play out. Donald Cannon says, Sim, been there since you had the old logo and the Bob Marley record on the wall. Yeah, no doubt. um, it's been up and downs throughout the years, but it feels good to see other people's frustration and a light at the end. No doubt. No doubt. It does, man. It does to feel good we feel good being able to win basketball games and then to talk about other teams that aren't winning or that lose to us. It feels really good, Donald. And I appreciate you for being here from the beginning, man. Really do. I think Rand Rock been with us from the beginning too. You know what I'm saying? He said, I love the Losers Lounge because it feels so good. It does. Shout out to Tony for the idea of the Losers Lounge.
Yes, sir. It does feel good.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
gives that extra. You know what I mean? Right after the post game,
Yeah,
post games feel good, but this feel good too. You know what I mean? It's a
yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
different feeling.
Right. And we might we're talking about how we could add in uh add in some of their post game interviews and hit what their players are saying and try to get that stuff ready, you know, for the losers lounge so we can listen to them. We're trying to get their fans in here, but their fans are running away. They don't want to face it. They don't want to face the losers lounge. You know what I mean? They
It's
don't
all
want
right. This is the how you say it, inaugural every year. This the beginning.
it's the
Come
inaugural. Yeah,
come next year. You know what I mean? We'll get a little buzz.
no doubt.
They'll be in there. They'll be coming in. We may get some guests and all that.
Right. Billy Goat said you also need guys who can get to the free throw line in the playoffs. No doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? Randall can get to the line. He's done a really, really good job of figuring out how to do that sweep through. You get fouled on those pull-ups. You know what I mean? So he's getting to the line like crazy. He's getting to the line a lot. And it obviously helps the Knicks. That's another reason that when Randall's in the game, I think the game slows down some too. Obviously, Randall, plays more ISO ball, right? But he also goes to the line a lot. You know what I mean? And that's gonna slow the game down some when you go to the line, you know.
And the thing that I don't get about some of the Knicks fans is even with his ISO ball, like he looks for others. You,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like he's that's a part of his game. You know what I mean? You're getting 4 assists this year, which is on a low scale for him. You know what I mean? In the past couple of years, but he's capable of 8 in a game. You know what I mean? Like he looks for guys continuously. So it's not like he's ISO and selfish.
Right. Right. Brian Robinson, that's where RJ stands out to me. He's got the ability to get to the line. He does have the ability to get to the line. I think with RJ, he's got to make up his mind. And we've seen it a few times towards the second half of the season where, excuse me, he just decides, I'm going to the basket. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm not even looking to pass. I'm going to the rack. You know what I mean? And I think he's effective that way. You know what I'm saying? I think he's really effective that way. Ramel said, I just hope Grimes stays aggressive in the playoffs. I agree. I think he will stay aggressive. You know, he might have some nerves the first game or two. You know what I mean? He might have nerves the first game in Cleveland if the Knicks play in Cleveland. And he may have nerves the first game at the Garden because when you walk into the Garden, you're going to feel the energy. It's going to be electric. The crowd is going to be buzzing. You know what I'm saying? And, it might be like his eyes might be wide, like, oh, man. Josh Hart's his first year in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Might be a little bit, but he's been there. He's been to the dance in college, though, Josh Hart. So I think he gets it. You know what I mean? I think he gets it. Stafford Don said, do we win 46 games this season with just JB and RJ and company? No, I don't think so, in my opinion.
Nah, come on, this guy he's hurt now, but played 77 straight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like integral part of our success.
Integral. You know what I mean? And during that time when Jalen Brunson was out, Randle was out there dropping big numbers to help the Knicks win games. When RJ was out, Randle was out there dropping big numbers to help the Knicks win games. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, I don't think so because what would have happened when JB got hurt and it was just RJ? What was going to happen? Right? Or when RJ got hurt and it's just, we seen tonight with it just being JB. They won, but look at the Wizards team that we played tonight. So, B. Willis said, go and get LaMarcus Aldridge while Randle is hurt. We need that bulk and he can stretch the floor. No, I don't see that because
didn't he just announce his retirement?
Yeah, he announced his retirement. But even if he didn't, if you go get someone like LaMarcus Aldridge, right? And he becomes, part of what you do, and then you take him out, it doesn't it doesn't make sense because he's not going to be playoff eligible. That time is already passed. You might as well rock with what you got. You already made the playoffs. So that way when the playoffs come and if people get hurt, you're not relying on somebody that can't even be there. You know what I mean? You know who you got. And plus he's already retired. He's done. He's gone. He's out of there. No more LaMarcus Aldridge, however you say his name. Gritty Grizz said Julius Randle's game is built for the playoffs. We need him. I agree. You agree with that, Tony? You muted.
Yes, my bad. Yeah, yes, we absolutely need him. But like you said earlier, I think, well, like I said earlier, I think we might could squeeze by the Cavs. If we advance past the Cavs, we're not getting any further without Randle.
Nope.
Yeah, and that doesn't matter if Bucks are number one or Celtics are number one. We need Randle against either one of those teams, 100%.
100%. And Gritty Grizz, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. Rand Rock said, I think this time off for Randle before the playoffs is good for him mentally. Boom. Yes, I agree because Randle, was reaching these points where he was getting really, really, really frustrated. You know what I'm saying? And we seen the things that were happening with him. We don't need to go back into it. But I do think this is good for him mentally. Just to get this break, to be away from the game for a little while. I'm sure he's probably home with his son, with his wife, enjoying that little bit of time, knowing that the Knicks are in the playoffs, being able to rest assured that they're still going to win basketball games, and then come back kind of.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but he was at the game today, and that was a pleasure to see him out there cheering his teammates on. So yeah. I thought that was like a big positive sign. You know what I mean? It actually gave me some more optimism that maybe he does make it back for the first round.
Yeah. Kevin said, yeah, he was actually at the game tonight. Yep. I didn't see him. I was looking. I didn't see him.
Yeah, he had on all black sweatsuit.
Okay.
And I forgot what play it was, but there was a certain play of the game where he was really champion. You know what I mean? Like they zoomed in on him. He chanting on the team,
Oh,
smiling like he looked real.
yeah,
He had the boot on. You know what I mean? So he looked real. It was very encouraging for me, like to see him in that space. You know what I mean? Because everybody analyze, oh, Randall's not cheering on the team. Randall's sitting by himself, but you know what I mean. He was out there supporting, so that was a great sign.
yeah, and it's probably because I watched the game from the Wizards telecast. See, I hate when I have to watch it from the Wizards telecast. It makes me mad. You know what I mean? Makes me mad. But that's good though. You know what I mean? He's able to enjoy the game without the pressure of being in the game for a little while, so he can come back and be ready. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. Francisco Carrillo said, "Don't nobody get dressed anymore, just Clyde," with a question mark. Actually, the coach from LSU was dressed tonight. You know what I'm saying? She had on a Clyde suit. She was chilling. She was chilling. Donald Cannon, Sim, if we advance past the second round, are you doing the group tickets if it's feasible? If I can do some group tickets for the first round, I'll try to do so. But if not, we're definitely going to try to do some. Eh, we're definitely going to try to do some. Get-togethers. You know what I mean, for the playoff matchup. So, as soon as things settle in and we know exactly where we are, because there's still a little bit of time left, and the Knicks still have to fight off Brooklyn, win their games, fight off Brooklyn. Who knows? Maybe even jump up to the fourth seed. We'll see what's going down, and then we'll let you know. But yeah, we're already talking about it. You know what I mean? Already talking about it, getting it done. Um, anyway, I think that's it for the Losers Lounge tonight.
Another good one, man.
Oh,
Another good one. Appreciate you guys joining in. I see the chat
yeah,
just lit up as well. Unfortunately, come
yeah.
back Wednesday.
You know what I'm saying? Wait till we do one in the playoffs, though. You know what I'm saying? That was gonna be wait till we do them in the playoffs.
Yeah, everybody gonna be on high adrenaline and high emotions. You know what I mean? They gonna be letting out. We might have to put a parental advisory up beforehand because I know there's gonna be some vulgar language in the comments and all that.
Right. No doubt. But yeah, Tony, appreciate it, man. I'm gonna head up out of here and look forward to being on another one. When is that? They play Wednesday? Looking forward
Wednesday,
to another one.
Pacers.
Yeah, no doubt. Wednesday. All right.
Shout out to the chat, man. Sim, appreciate you. Your blackest time. And yeah, go check out my channel too, Knicks and Bruises.
Be out. Peace.